I'm Chris Lewis, firefighter for the Lakeville Fire Department, and welcome to another edition of On Call. The goal of this program is to educate and inform the citizens of Lakeville about how Lakeville's all-volunteer fire department trains and responds to emergencies. Let's take a look at what's coming up on this edition of On Call. We highlight some of the activity that took place at the annual Fire Department Open House. Fire Chief Mike Meyer talks with Apple Valley Fire Inspector Brian Kilmartin about their sprinkler trailer. Captain Don Johnson from Station 2 answers a viewer's question in Ask the Firefighter. I will get you caught up on the latest happenings around the fire department. And Scratch the Fire Dog finds out what it takes to set up for this year's open house. Every year, LFD invites Lakeville residents to Fire Station 4 for our annual open house. It's a way we can educate the public on fire prevention and give the public an up-close opportunity to see their fire department. So on this edition of On Call, we take a look at LFD's annual open house.
Other 2 times. All right, here's the fire. Going up the grate. You guys have that fire burn. And there's the water. Bringing up the wall.
So we have a small station wagon staged here before you that has been a simulated accident, and we have firefighters that will be responding and demonstrating how they'll be doing extrication. So one of the first people that you see on scene is one of our chief officers. In Lakeville we have 4 chief officers. We of course have a fire chief, and then we have 3 district chiefs. Chief Cook is simply doing a walk around, getting some information from the scene simply by walking around and collecting information that he can see and then relaying that information. So at this point, would simulate that we would have a piece of fire apparatus on the road, and he would be relaying information to them via radio and giving them an update, letting them know what they need. Now you can see that as the firefighters arrive, they're coming up with a variety of equipment so that they can begin taking care of this. One of the first things that you see is that they're stabilizing the vehicle. So we don't know the extent of what the accident was, so we want to make sure that we stop that vehicle from moving or going anywhere else. So getting some chocks under the tires. Another strategy that we sometimes use is to flatten the tires because that helps stabilize the vehicle. So you'll notice that on the driver's side we have a firefighter who broke one of the windows to get access to that vehicle and is now going in and sitting behind the patient. And the primary reason for that would be to establish contact with the patient, start talking to that individual, letting them know what they're going to be doing. This firefighter is going to be the point of contact for that patient throughout the entire extrication. They'll let them know what's happening, etc. Again, because we don't know the extent of the injury, we don't know the extent of the accident, the other thing that firefighter is going to be doing is what we call C-spine. So they're going to be stabilizing that individual's neck and head so that there's limited movement. We'll use a C-collar to place on there. It's very uncomfortable, but it does limit the movement and protects the patient's neck, spine, and head and makes it much more secure until we can get that individual out of the vehicle. You'll also notice that firefighters have set up a yellow tarp towards the rear of the vehicle, and they've started using that as a staging area for the equipment that they want to put to work. So they've started bringing out a variety of tools. These are hydraulic rescue tools. Oftentimes folks think of these as the jaws of life. And the jaws of life is like a Band-Aid. It's a brand name for a tool. The two tools that you'll see here are a spreader and a cutter, and they both work like a jaws of life, but they're a little bit different tool. So you'll see those in action in just a couple of minutes. What we're simulating on this vehicle is that gaining access to the driver's compartment is difficult, that those doors are jammed. So you'll notice a firefighter going across the windshield with what's called a windshield saw, and it does exactly what you would think it does. It cuts the windshield. These windshields are laminated, so they're very difficult to get through. They don't break like a traditional piece of glass breaks. So the windshield saw helps get through there, and you can see that they're using a two-man team to get that across and then cut into that windshield so they can fold that and get it out of the way. You'll remember that when we started our demonstration, we had District Chief Cook arrived and was surveying the scene. Now you'll notice that he continues to walk around the scene, and his purpose right now is serving as the safety officer. So both for our demonstration, he's functioning as the safety officer, but we would also use the same role on an actual car accident or other fire scene, where we always have a firefighter who's watching out for the other firefighters to make sure that we don't add any additional injuries to the emergency. So in this case, District Chief Cook is monitoring the progress of the firefighters. He's got a vest on, as do the other firefighters on the scene, so that we're adding some extra visibility on the roadway. Again, trying to protect the firefighters that are there and make sure that we limit the injuries to the ones that have already taken place. Again, remembering that inside the vehicle we have a firefighter there who's in contact with that patient. So when these noises, the glass is breaking, etc., that patient knows what's happening and why it's happening. In this particular case, taking out that glass in the front window gets us access to some of the posts on the vehicle and allow us to get in there and have better access to that patient. You're starting to see some of the hydraulic tools coming up. This is a cutter that's up that they're using to cut what we refer to as the A post on the vehicle. It's going to be that forwardmost post that's supporting the roof, and that they're able to get in there and cut that post with the hydraulic cutter. So you can see that the firefighters have gotten a first cut successfully done on that A post, and they're getting the cutter over onto the other side. You may not be able to see it very well, but these tools are very portable. They were able to bring the generator off of the truck and bring it right up to the vehicle and not have to bring the truck right up. This works really well on a situation where the car might be off the road or in a difficult to access location. On the driver's side of the vehicle, you'll notice that now they have a tool that we call a spreader, and they're using the spreader in there to start crushing the roof so that we can fold that and get that roof out of the way. I was introducing some of the different people that were working the scene. So the new player that we're adding to the mix here is one of our line of paramedics that we partner with. And the paramedics are an integral part in this patient care. They've got the most advanced level of training that we can have out in the field. And they're going to be coming up and getting some information from the firefighters and then starting to take over primary care for that patient. You can see that the firefighters have taken another tool and brought it up there, and this tool is helping to put some pressure so we can crease that roof and start to fold it back. So now they've made some cuts, they've made some creases in there. You can see that they're still using those hydraulic tools. So in a moment, we're going to get that roof opened up and so that we have greater access to that patient and we're able to remove or extricate the patient as easily as possible with as minimal discomfort to the patient. Now you can see that the roof's been folded back, again greatly increasing access to that patient. The paramedics talking to the firefighter who's in the back maintaining patient care and maintaining C-spine. The piece that you may notice is that they've covered them up with a blanket. And that's not to hide from anything other than to protect the firefighter and the patient from glass or other debris that might be moving around inside the vehicle, and gives that little extra bit of comfort for that patient knowing that they're protected. What's difficult to see because it's on the passenger side of the vehicle is that the firefighters have a backboard that they're using, that they're bringing in and sliding underneath the patient, again, doing it without causing any discomfort to the patient and moving that patient as little as possible so that they're, especially in this case, their spine stays right where it is and we don't cause any problems or add any additional injuries as we extricate that patient. One of the things that you may notice about Lakeville firefighters is that we're not wearing what looks like a traditional fire helmet. I know that many of you have the red plastic helmets tonight, and the fire helmets that we're wearing don't look like this anymore. We're finding that especially in an operation like vehicle extrication, this new style of helmet is much more form-fitting and gives us much better protection. It allows us to move in tight spaces much easier. So now we've got the patient loaded up onto the stretcher and taking that patient over to the ambulance to be loaded up there and moved on. The next piece that you won't quite see here is that we would start packing up our tools, and then we would be cleaning up the vehicle, particularly if it's been in an accident. The police are going to be taking a number of photos, so oftentimes you might drive by an accident scene and see firefighters standing there. You might see us sweeping, and a lot of times what we're doing is waiting for a tow truck, waiting for the police to finish completing their photo taking, or getting any other evidence that they might need before we can assist in cleanup and getting the vehicle loaded and getting the roadway back open.
When we come back, Fire Chief Mike Meyer covers the importance of fire sprinklers and shows us how they can prevent a disaster from happening.
Welcome to another edition of Chief's Corner. I'm Fire Chief Mike Meyer, and today I'm joined with Fire Inspector Brian Kilmartin from Apple Valley. Thanks,
Chief.
Brian, for joining me.
Yep.
First, let's tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I currently am employed as the fire inspector in the city of Apple Valley. 50% of my job basically is fire inspections, code compliance, and then the other half is spent doing public education, such as the sprinkler trailer, which is behind us today.
Okay. So, being you mentioned that, let's talk about the trailer itself, is how you guys, Apple Valley, has that.
Okay, the sprinkler trailer was received, I guess you'd call it, through a grant, and Apple Valley was the applicant of the grant and awarded it. We house it and we use it in our fire prevention program in Apple Valley, but we're also encouraging other departments to borrow it. And if they don't want to borrow it, lack of knowledge, or they're just not quite there up to speed on the process of the fire sprinklers, we are more than willing to come out and do the training for them. Bring the trailer out and actually run the entire trailer and allow them to participate in their community.
And the reason we have the trailer today is that we did a demonstration for some employees for the city as far as just giving them knowledge on what a sprinkler head can do.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, that was a great demonstration. A lot of city officials there, city employees. They actually really were surprised, I think, at how quick the fire went out. We started a garbage can fire with some curtains, it crawled up the wall, and it went from a very small Bic lighter type flame to a fully involved wall and ceiling fire. The fire rolled over on the ceiling. As soon as the sprinkler had fused, the fire was out, and I think they were truly surprised at really how fast that fire, they were seeing the smoke and feeling the heat. The fire went out almost immediately as soon as it had full water flow, and I heard a lot of, wow, that was fast. So very impressive.
They're a very good system, like you said. We see them mostly in commercial buildings, but their trend is hopefully we can start seeing them in residential homes. It makes our job a lot easier as far as firefighters.
And a much safer home for people to live in.
Obviously the purpose behind the trailer is for education, so let's talk a little bit about, as far as the trailer and fire sprinklers, why we're trying to get out in the communities and educate people about fire sprinklers.
Okay, well, fire sprinklers have been around for a long time in commercial businesses. Also for a long time in multifamily dwellings, such as apartment buildings, senior living environments. Townhomes are becoming more and more popular. The reason we're pushing it is we still have a lot of fire deaths in single-family homes, such as two-level split homes, ramblers, anything that one family would reside in. Smoke detectors are a great thing. They alert us. But a fire sprinkler system actually addresses the fire. It does something to the fire. So we're trying to promote that people, as they're building new homes, that maybe they'll look at installing them as a safer environment for their family. Also, it can be done in a retrofit application. It's a little more expensive, but you know, every opportunity that we can to get these in somebody's home is what we're looking for.
Okay. Do you have, like, what would be the average cost if somebody was to build an average house in Lakeville or anywhere in our community? What that system would cost? It's
tough to put an average cost on it. I like to compare it to if you're interested in putting in a fire sprinkler system in new construction, obviously that's cheaper, but it's easier to relate it to if somebody is going to upgrade from a laminate countertop to a granite countertop. The money you would spend between that upgrade is probably what it would cost for the sprinkler system. Maybe from a lesser grade carpet to a high-end Berber carpeting. Something like that. It's just an upgrade in floor coverings or countertops. That's the easiest comparison.
Okay. So you put the sprinkler system into your home, residential home. What does your insurance company do for you as far as the benefits from that?
Most insurance companies will give a 1% to 2% reduction in the annual homeowners insurance. It's still a little new to the insurance companies because we're fighting that false statement, as you see on TV, when one head goes off, they all go off. So the insurance companies are kind of looking at it as a water damage claim that is potentially there, when that's really not true. So we just haven't, as a fire service, educated the insurance industry enough to get them to give a better discount. But a lot of insurance companies are giving a discount.
Okay, is there any other benefits or incentives to put it into your home?
Well, benefit-wise, I like to say it's like having a firefighter in your home 24 hours a day. Again, that smoke detector will alert you to the fire, but it doesn't do anything. A fire that starts, no matter where it starts or how it starts, grows in size about a double every 30 seconds that it's unaddressed or unattended to. The fire sprinkler system will actually react when the ceiling temperature reaches the 135, 155 degrees, and it will, if anything, it'll keep the fire that's in your home, it'll keep it in check. It'll stop it from growing. 99% chance it's actually going to extinguish that fire. Now what have you done? You haven't allowed the fire to create a toxic environment. It's very light smoke. It's like a bonfire type irritant smoke. it's not allowing the lightweight construction in homes today to off-gas and cause the hydrogen cyanide and other bad chemicals that it creates because of the glues and so on in the lumber. A lot of the foams and the cushions in our new upholsteries and our couches and stuff, they burn really hot and give off the same hydrogen cyanide. By having that sprinkler system, you're not allowing those toxic gases to form, which gives you a much safer environment to egress your home. You're still going to get out, you're still going to have a smoke detector activate, but you're going to be in a cooler, less toxic environment. On our side of the world as firefighters, it doesn't allow a superheated room. It's cooling the environment. So we as firefighters, we're not going in trying to fight a raging fire anymore. We're fighting smaller mop-up, cleanup type fires. And we're having a lot less property damage, both smoke, because smoke gets everywhere. We're not getting as much smoke to go everywhere, and we're not having as much fire burnt damage. We still have water damage, but a fire sprinkler system, one sprinkler head puts out single-digit gallons per minute, 5 to 7 gallons per minute, maybe 13 in a bigger system. Where a firefighter, you know as well as I do, as soon as we open the nozzle, we're a couple hundred gallons. But that fire is out at that time rather than raging while we're en route. So there's a lot of benefits to it.
Thanks, Brian, for being here today, and thanks for bringing the trailer by for us to use.
Okay. Absolutely. Thank you for inviting me. I'd love to bring it out again if we have the chance.
And now let's go back to Chris to find out what else is happening around the fire department.
Thanks, Chief. This fall has seen its share of calls, but with all this road construction, we are responding to an increase of vehicle accidents. Once work began on Interstate 35, there was an immediate increase in calls both on I-35 and on local streets. LFD has kept up with the increased amount of calls, and there have been some significant crashes. We would like to remind everyone to have patience with the additional traffic, be alert for slow or stopped vehicles, and to slow down, especially in work zones. LFD firefighters are paid on-call volunteers like many of the firefighters in the state. With that, when a department has a large incident, such as a structure fire, it is common for other departments to respond and assist the local department efforts. These mutual aid calls help control the cost of operating the fire department by sharing resources when needed. LFD did aid the Farmington Fire Department this fall on a residential structure fire, with firefighters from Station 1 and from Station 2 responding. These mutual aid agreements among the cities ensure that all parts of the area are covered while helping control costs for each department. LFD responded to another residential house fire this fall, but this time it occurred within the city. Firefighters were called out to Ileton Avenue in northern Lakeville on a report of a fire that started in a bathroom. The fire spread to the attic, but firefighters were quickly able to extinguish the fire before it got out of control. The cause of the fire appears to have started with the bathroom fan. While we don't know why the fan overheated, it is always a good idea to clean the dust and debris from these fans occasionally, which could possibly prevent an incident happening in your home. In mid-October, LFD responded to a report of an electrical fire at a residence on Ideal Way. When firefighters arrived, the fire was out, but severe damage had taken place to an electrical outlet and wall. It appears the homeowner overloaded the outlet, which caused the fire. With the holiday season upon us, this is a good time to remind viewers not to overload electrical outlets and to change the batteries in their smoke alarms. If you saw our July edition of LFD On Call, you will remember a segment about hostile event training that LFD participated in with the Lakeville Police Department at the Scale facility in Scott County. This type of training is to train emergency personnel in a variety of situations, such as an active shooter in a building. This fall, LFD again teamed up with the police department, and this time included all the staff from ISD 194 on what would happen if there was an active shooter in a school. This training happened at Lakeville North High School, and it included what school staff needs to know in life-threatening situations. While we hope nothing like this ever happens in our community, we need to be prepared for any situation that might come up. And those are some of the things that happen around the fire department.
As a rural EMT, I've heard all of the excuses for not calling 911 at the first sign of stroke.
It's probably nothing.
I can't afford an ambulance ride.
I don't want to create a scene.
But stroke can happen to anyone at any time.
Remember to act fast. If someone's face, arm, or speech is drifting, then time is of the essence.
Please call 911.
It's better to be safe than sorry.
Hi, I'm Don Johnson. I'm the fire captain for Station 2 here in Lakeville. Today's Ask the Firefighter question comes from Katie in Minneapolis. And Katie asked, are there really poles that you slide down to get to the truck? Thanks for your question, Katie. Fire poles or slide poles are a quick way for firefighters to descend from upper levels of the building. They date back to the 1800s and were popular for decades. Here at LFD, we don't have any poles due to the fact that 3 of our fire stations are single-level buildings. And while Station 1 has an upper level, being that we are a volunteer fire department, rarely are the firefighters on the second level when we need to respond to a call. Many cities have removed poles from their stations due to safety concerns, but some new multi-level fire stations include slide poles with the appropriate safety features. When Egan built their new fire safety center, they did install a pole in the facility. Their multi-level building does house firefighters 24/7, and the pole is used every day to quickly and efficiently get them down to their vehicles. Thanks, Katie, for your question. If you have a question for Ask the Firefighter, send it to us using the information on the screen.
It's me, Scratch the Fire Dog, because I like to scratch out the fire and woohoo! It's an open house prep day. This is my favorite day of the whole year because we get the fire station ready for the big crowds that are going to show up at the open house. And the fire open house is at station number 4, but I'm here at fire station number 1 because I heard that Jay O'Connell needs some help getting some prep going, and I will help him, but I have a great big surprise that for sure will make this open house the most successful ever, but I'll save that for later. And oh, there's Jay! Jay, let me help you! Hey, Jay, there you are. Hey, how are you doing today, Jay?
Scratch, this is my busiest day of the year. I have to get ready for the open house.
I know it is, but I gotta ask you a question first.
Okay, make it quick.
Jay, how do you spell your first name?
J-A-Y.
Oh, unbelievable. I thought you just spelled it with the letter J. Jay, I'm just as excited as you are. Today is open house prep day, and I'm so excited because I want to help you out. And
okay,
I got
good.
a big thing that'll make this open house the most successful ever. Can I show it to you now?
No, but can you grab this box?
Yeah,
You gotta put this in the truck.
Okay. I got
then, oh, Scratch! I'll come back. I gotta put the step in the truck. I'll be right back.
No, I got it. I'm coming, Jay. I'm coming. Whoa. Woo. Hey, Scratch has been so helpful today. I've loaded up the cardboard garbage can, the safety cones, and we even have a big tub we're gonna fill up with ice so we can put the root beer in there and have it on ice for everyone. So I got my van all filled up, so now I gotta go help Jay load up tables. I'm coming, Jay! Hey, Jay! Ain't you got that truck loaded yet?
Scratch! Yeah, I got it loaded.
Okay, great. Well, I'll meet you up at Station 4 because I'm all loaded too.
That sounds good.
Here we go.
All right, I'll meet you up there.
Hey, come on, Jay. I beat you. Come on. You drive like a grandma. Ha, Grandma Jay. Oh, I love it. Oh, these things are heavy. Here we go. Oh, right here. Oh, right on my paw. Oh, hey, garbage all set. Kind of. It's okay. Oh, hey, look at that. I got the cooler. Hey, Jay, look out. I'm going to roll it at you.
Whoa, Scratch! I got it.
Oh, good
thanks.
to catch.
Scratch, this is what we put the root beer in, so can you grab some ice?
I don't think so. I'm tired.
Okay, Scratch, push.
I'm pushing.
We gotta get the boat outside.
I'm pushing it up. Have fun, Jay.
Scratch,
Get
help!
fun, Jay. Bye, Jay.
Hey, Jay, what is this thing anyway? Well, Scratch, this is the fire safety trailer that we used for the Chiefs corner.
I didn't watch the show yet.
Well, you were supposed to be in the trailer. You weren't in there?
But let's open it up. Let's see what it looks like inside. Ooh, I can't see a thing except my reflection. Look at me, I'm pretty, pretty, pretty. Sit, speak. Hey, look at it, some of my long-lost relatives. Sparky, Hilda, Phil, and Bacon Boy. Oh, they're very good. Sit. Hold it, Jay, wait a minute. What are you doing? What are you putting in here?
Well, a video for people to watch at the open house.
No. You don't want to watch that boring stuff. This is the thing that I knew would be the success of the open house. Look at that. It's the best of Scratch for 2013. Come on, put it in, Jay. Put it in, Jay.
All right.
Come on.
Is this fresh off the press?
Hey, look at it's me. It's the best of Scratch. Hey, look at that, Jay. It's the best of Scratch. It's me when I still had my cape. Oh, this is going to be the hit of the open house. Hey, I'm glad I could help you out today.
This is a scratch in the fire.
Hey, I know it's a scratch in the fire dog. But hey, I'm talking to Jay. Hey, stop talking like that. I'm trying to finish the segment. Hey, until next time, everyone, this is a scratch in the fire dog, because I like to scratch out the fires. Hey, good to see you again, Jay, with the little Jay. Hey, quit talking. You're very loud.
Thanks for joining us for this edition of On Call. If you have questions, comments, an idea for the program, or would like to send a question in for Ask the Firefighter, please call us at 952-985-4700 or use the email address at the bottom of your screen. Thanks for joining us, and all fire units are clear.